Thank you, Ken, for that warm welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's so great to have you here today. Woohoo! We are celebrating 50 years at Youth Care, our service to the community, and I'm excited to share with you our story of past, present, and future. It represents a timeline of momentous change and opportunity. Last year, I spoke to you about how Youth Care is making the shift to secure a sustainable future where we live our values and focus on our key priorities. I want to highlight 3 areas where we have made significant progress this year. Number 1, we committed ourselves to excellence in service delivery to young people and received stellar recognition from the Council on Accreditation for meeting and exceeding their exacting standards for social service nonprofits. Yes. I am so proud of every Youth Care team member who helped make this possible. Number 2, we delivered on our promise to take care of our employees. We raised salaries, offered benefits, packages that support our own team members so that they can build a more sustainable future for themselves. We increased opportunities for professional advancement. And number 3, that's worth clapping for. Thank you. And number 3, we walked our talk about lifting all boats in the community, like attending Youth Advocacy Day with our friends, Mockingbird Society, and advocating for greater impact along with our youth service provider community to end youth homelessness. It's been an amazing year. Just a moment ago, I shared that today's presentation of Youth Care's 50th anniversary highlights our past, our present, and our future in serving young people. And I hope that you all had a chance out there in the lobby to take a look at that timeline banner. Wasn't that beautiful? Yes. Okay. You know, Youth Care's story starts 50 years ago when founders Joanne and Larry Sims, their community of family and friends, and their local church took action as they responded to the needs of unhoused young people in their community. They opened the shelter, one of the first facilities of its kind, serving young people experiencing homelessness. So many of these kids were just children, not even 18 years old, who had been pushed out of their homes because many of them identified as queer youth. Years ago, just a few months shy of my own 20th birthday, I worked at the shelter as a house counselor. The shelter had moved from Wallingford to Beacon Hill into a larger house to serve more youth. And I remember it fondly. The team of passionate social workers and community volunteers who advocated fiercely for every youth who found their way there, as though they were their very own children. I remember times returning home after a shift and crying my eyes out because I was so grateful that even though my God-fearing parents didn't quite understand my own coming out as a queer person, they loved me, supported me, and they made sure I knew that I always had a home to go to, something these kids and so many young people today don't have. I've dedicated my life to doing all that I can do and more to improving systems of care for young people. It is my life's work. This is why I am so excited about our work at Youth Care, our mission to end youth and young adult homelessness, and our vision of seeing every young person in a home they can afford, sustained by a livable wage job, and surrounded by a community that values them, and friends and families who love them. Thank you. You know, much like Joanne and Larry Sims and their community 50 years ago, Youth Care has been and continues to respond to the needs of young people who are living in our community without safe places to call home. Throughout today's program, you will hear about how preparing young people for their future has been at the core of Youth Care's work in the past and present. But now, I want you to imagine with me Youth Care's future. It's 50 years later, and the needs of young people have evolved. Our future calls for a shift in how we have been delivering on our promise to young people. Yes, housing is critical to solving homelessness, but what we also know is that pairing this with workforce training and placement into livable wage jobs will catapult young people toward a future that is more sustainable. Thank you. Yes, clap for that. So I am thrilled to introduce our new Workforce Development Center, which we are calling the Constellation Center. Yes, thank you. The Constellation Center represents our hopes, our dreams, and our future. In partnership with Community Roots Housing, we are creating a youth-centered hub of hope and connection that welcomes young people throughout the area to take their next steps toward a thriving adulthood. The Constellation Center will feature classrooms where young people's personalized workforce readiness plans are practiced and actualized. A cafe where young people learn essential customer service skills with the support of our business partners. And meeting spaces that invite the community to come and gather and connect. Community Roots Housing is working alongside us to build 84 units of affordable housing that will be available to young people in this community. That is worth clapping for, absolutely. Together, our two organizations have created a solution model that focuses on what young people need right now: housing and pathways to livable wage jobs. We are so excited to break ground on the Constellation Center this summer. The center will be located at the corner of Broadway and East Pine in the heart of Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. I want to take a moment to recognize a few important champions who have helped make this possible. Thank you to Youth Care's Board of Directors, the Constellation Center Project Co-Chairs, Greg Moy, Todd Lywicki, Sherry Schultz, and Representative Frank Chop. Thank you to architects Weinstein AU, Walsh Construction, and project consultants Barrientos Ryan. As I look out amongst your faces, I see so many of you who I also want to honor and recognize. So let's make some noise in this room today. Please stand, shout, hang on, stand, shout, and wave your streamers as I call out the group that represents your connection to Youth Care. For those who are able, stay standing until the end. All right, current and alumni Youth Care staff, stand up. Okay, stay up. Elected officials. Elected officials. Youth Care's donors and luncheon sponsors. Stay up, stay up. Current and former Youth Care volunteers. Current and former Youth Care volunteers. Youth Care partners and anyone working in social services. And now, anyone who is supporting and who has supported the community's work in ending youth homelessness, and that includes everyone attending this luncheon. So stand up, please. Wave your streamers. Yeah, let's make some noise. You are the pioneers, the champions, and the supernovas who have and continue to recognize the needs of young people and who support Youth Care in meeting those needs. Thank you. Much like Joanne and Larry Sims, we are calling upon you to continue helping us deliver our promise. Come on up here, you two. Thank you. We are delivering on our promise to make sure that young people have access to safe and affordable housing, to prepare them for livable wage jobs and pathways to successful futures, and to let them know they are loved.
So in honor
of 50 years of service
and support,
and our big, bold vision for the future, we thank you for all your support, past, present, and future. Thank you, everyone.